Hello, welcome to St Michael's Hill. This week I let my Twitter followers help me decide what video I was going to make. They were given a few options and chose this one. I think about 83% or something of the people chose a video of what I picked up at DEMU. So for those who don't know, I attended the DEMU Showcase 2019 on Saturday at Swathingcote Leisure Centre. It's a really good show. I've never been before. It was definitely on my bucket list of exhibitions I wanted to get to, so really glad that I kind of made my way there. All the layouts, obviously, as the name would suggest, are kind of diesel or electric, which is great for me, and the quality generally of them all was superb. There was really good trader support as well, so Cavalax were there, revealing kind of their latest models, and Acura Scale were there as well. Wagon had a small stand, but as with a lot of these things, it's kind of there's not much there, to be honest, and they're far less willing to chat than some of the other manufacturers. It was also good to meet a few people for the first time. So I met Paul from N Trains properly. I met Dave Watson at Dean Park Station, which is great, and Gareth at Trains for You, who I met all for the first time, and then met Richard from New Junction. So I obviously met him a few times before, but it was good to see him again. So this video, I'm quickly going to run through what I picked up. There's a fair bit, as you can see. There were some really good bargains that were available at the show, so I kind of grabbed those and picked up a few other bits of what I need. So I'll quickly run through those. This video is not going to be a running session of the show. I didn't take too much footage, and also I think certainly Dave at Dean Park Station, Richard at New Junction, and many others have already put out some great videos. So I will probably link to those in the description below. If you want to see the layouts that were there, check out those videos. This one's not really going to be about that. I'm going to quickly run through everything I got at the exhibition. So I'm going to run from the top here. So the first thing is Class 47 body. So this is a Helgen body, and yeah, generally it's in fairly good condition, obviously in the Virgin Trains livery, which is a little bit of a gift and a curse, really. I was looking for a Helgen body that I could basically strip down and respray into the Merlin, Great Western Merlin livery to make Thor, which is one of the Class 47s from that were running at that time that I don't have a model of. So I was hoping to pick up a body shell, which obviously I have done, but being Virgin, it's something that probably also would have run on the layout in the time. So I'm a little bit loath to necessarily strip down this body when it's already in a livery that I'd quite fancy on the layout. The only other issue I've had, and I'll show you quickly if you just hang on there. Obviously I have, as many of you know, the Helgen 47 in Rail Express livery. I'm having an absolute nightmare getting the body off the chassis. I'm slightly concerned that it might have been one of those models that's affected with the swelling chassis, so I'm going to have a look into that now. A lot of people have said it's just difficult to get off, so we will see. I've kind of stripped down as much of it as I can to kind of get a good purchase, but we will see. So hopefully I will get the body off and switch it over, although if it's going to be this much of a pain, it's not necessarily going to be great to have a chassis and then a couple of bodies to go on. So I will have a look at what is going to be possible. If it comes off fairly easily and there's a knack, then I'll just switch out the bodies and run both. If not, I might need to look at getting another chassis or something. Certainly this loco I've mentioned before, I need to actually do a little bit of work on a renumber, as the EWS 47 I've got is the same running number, so I need to just renumber and rename that one anyway. So yeah, that's what I bought the body shell for. The second thing I picked up, which is just pretty basic, is a few kind of micro spring clamps. Just going to be useful for helping out with some of the projects that I've got going on. It's something I've never really had before, so just picked up those. Another thing that I picked up is this small piece of copper clad board. So when I'm doing the fiddle yard, I just need some of this to get down to kind of secure the track in place at the joins of the boards. And again, it's probably something I might end up doing on the new layout at some point. So I thought I'd pick some up. So I think it was £1.25 or something. Really not a big outlay, but always useful to have. The next item that I've picked up is this. Again, just a very useful thing to have. Just move the camera slightly. So there we go. So it's just a simple turntable really for when I'm spraying, weathering things. It's just good to be able to kind of throw something on there, whether it's body shell, and you can give it a kind of a spray and then rotate it without having to touch it. So again, just something useful I had. I think I picked it up for £6.95. So it's not exactly a expensive item, but just something nice to have. The next item is something that I've kind of been after for a while. I've been looking to kind of build up a train with it, and it's this. So it's the Dapol KTA wagon. There's no container in this one, so it's just an empty one. That's not necessarily a problem. They obviously run empty a fair amount of the time anyway, and also I've got containers that I could use inside of it. So I'm going to quickly get that out and just show you how it looks on the track. So here's the wagon outside of the box. This is second hand, but it's in pretty much immaculate condition. I can't find any kind of issues with it at all. As you can see, it's in the Tippuk livery, Tippuk rail livery, so it's going to be kind of useful for any time really from kind of the late 80s until now really. They're still used on the network. They are only used, I believe, on Freightliner trains, so they wouldn't be hauled by DRS or EWS, I don't think. Certainly they are for use on Freightliner trains, and that's kind of what I'm building up at the moment. So I have a few wagons already that are going to be part of the fleet, or part of the train, that are the Hornby, I think it's the KFAs, but I've got this, and I will hopefully at some point be picking up the Bachmann recent release of their kind of early container wagons, and they'll form a train. Generally really happy. Let me bring it a little bit closer. So it's really like nicely detailed wagon. There's lots of detailing up here, and then underneath. It's really interesting whenever there's kind of wagons that are kind of completely see-through, where you can see through to the track. It's always nice. The printing on here is very good. Everything's legible. So yeah, it's very cool that they're here, and everything's kind of nice. It kind of runs very smoothly. It's got a kind of a decent amount of weight to it for a kind of hollow wagon. I don't think it's a metal one, but it is what it is. And like I said, this is a wagon made by Dapol, which is it's the first one I've got of the Dapol wagons. Those of you who know the layout might recognise this container, but like I said, that you can easily fit container wagons in like that. It's just something a bit different. Most kind of container wagons, generally you've got the 140 foot and 120 foot capacity, so it's just nice to have something a little bit different. It will get a good weathering at some point. Have a few plans for that, so keep tuned to the channel to see how I go about that. But generally, as you can see, it looks quite good. The container itself's obviously been given a good weather when it was on the layout, and it probably is in a slightly worse condition than most containers that get used, but on the layout this one's generally just kind of been left and abandoned. But yeah, really happy with this wagon. The next kind of item in this Bachmann box kind of goes fairly well with this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this here. I'll push it up here a little bit, and then get the next item in place. I'm going to try and do some sort of magical cutaway. We'll see. So in 3, 2, 1, and there you go. So this is the item that I picked up. So it is a Wagon class 47, 47306, which is in rail freight distribution livery and is named the Sapper. This model is an exclusive to Kernow Model Centre, sorry. And it's been something I've kind of had had my eye on for a while. There were a couple of things that I was looking for that day, both of which were 47. So one of them was the Class 47 in Porterbrook livery, which is a respray by Rainbow Railways, which was, I think, £220. And I was very tempted, but you know, it is a lot of money. But it was good to see it up front, up close. They were really cool. They let me get out of the box and have a good look. And it is a wonderful job on the respray. The other one was this, that I kind of thought I might go and pick up. It kind of retails, I think, for 160. However, Kernow, as some of you may know, were running an offer for the weekend at the exhibition, and this, as well as pretty much all of their Kernow exclusives, were down to $99.99. So I managed to get a massive bargain, and as soon as it kind of became a competition between this and obviously a £220 version of the same loco, effectively, it was a fairly easy choice. So I've kind of picked this one up. Really happy with it. It's kind of it's got a light factory weathering, which I think is actually done pretty well. It's nothing too kind of over the top. The windscreen wipers have been done very well. Generally, it's just kind of a very light kind of weathering, and obviously it would have been, as I said, Freightliner. Obviously came from rail freight distribution, and so it's very possible that this loco would have been pulling this wagon. So that's what I decided to do, and I'm really happy with the choice. One thing it does mean, I was kind of a little bit loath to pick one up just because I already had one in Lima, so I've decided to put that one on eBay, which I think the listing actually ends today. If you're watching this when it goes up on Saturday, yeah, if not, I'll put a link in the description below if you wanted to pick it up. But I think it would be fair to kind of show you a quick comparison on why I felt that it wouldn't be worth keeping it. So here you go. Here's the two side by side. As you can see, the weathering is quite subtle on the Wagon version, but when you put it next to a kind of pristine model, you can see it's been weathered quite well, not heavily, but it's changed appearance quite a lot, especially the roof. You can see a little bit of the blue on the grills here, but the rest of the roof is quite a kind of dark colour. And in addition, the lower body sides are kind of quite a dirty colour compared to the Lima one. But generally, it's just the detail. I think it doesn't really stand up next to the Wagon one, so I think it was time to kind of pop it on eBay and get a good sale for it. It is pretty much effectively brand new. It's only really been out of the box to test it before it went up on eBay, and also in the Meet the Fleet video that I did as my first video. So it's in perfect condition, so it'll be a good model for someone. It'll find a good home for sure. Yeah, I think it's probably the way I'm going to be going more and more, really, is picking up kind of slightly higher end models where I can at good prices, and then if there is a kind of a Lima equivalent, probably best to move that one on. So that's what I'll be doing. So like I said, if the sale's still on, I'll link in the description below if you fancy picking up the model, and hopefully if you go for it, you'll win. The final thing is in this other box here from Helgen. So what I will do is I'll get all of this stuff put away and get out the final item or items. So the final thing I bought was these Helgen Dogfish wagons. They're again a Kernow Model Centre exclusive and are in a weathered civil engineers or Dutch livery. Kind of mixed views on these, really. I picked them up because I was desperate for some of these wagons. I kind of have a kind of growing civil engineers fleet, and I wanted some good quality dogfish, and I've generally heard good things about them, so I thought I'd pick them up. I saw them at the show. Obviously I was picking up the 47, which I thought was a real bargain, so I thought I'd get these as well. Kind of mixed reviews really. So generally the Wagon is very, very good. The detailing is wonderful. They're all numbered differently, and as you see, the one on the end has a slightly different kind of data panel to the others. It's just like the nice little differences, and they're all weathered. They're very heavily weathered, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Generally they were pretty badly weathered as kind of individual units. I guess my kind of reservations, I suppose, come from, firstly, the load. I think it's absolutely terrible. Luckily, and I've had a kind of good look at this, but luckily the load is easily removable. So I can just peel that away, and inside they've actually weathered the Wagon. So it's not as bad as it could have been. I've got no idea why they thought that they produce a Wagon like this with this level of detail and then put a horrible bit of plastic with oversized ballast in as a load. It's crazy. I don't know. Look, you can easily kind of add, scatter or something, or just weather this or whatever. There's lots you can do, but it just seems bizarre when you've got a Wagon that's been kind of weathered and detailed as well as this one has, to kind of put that in. It's just feels like an afterthought, but it's not a problem. I will basically remove the plastic inserts on all of them, and then either load them myself or look to do something similar. But yeah, but it's put it this way, I was a lot more impressed when I got it open. The weathering inside generally is okay. There's some kind of heavy-handed white at the bottom there, but generally it's not too bad at all. Some quite nice kind of rust patterns. It looks like they've all kind of been hand done, so they're all different, which is nice. The other issue I have is the wheel set. It looks like the bearings on the wheels are very kind of, or the axles maybe are too large, so there's quite a play in those wheels. It's not a huge deal, but just feels a bit odd. You put the Wagon down and it kind of sinks a little bit. You can hear that. So it's generally all good, but certainly they could be improved slightly. But yeah, generally they look very nice, and they're going to look good on my kind of civil engineers train. So very, very pleased on the whole. Although, like I said, there's definitely things that can be improved with them. So that's pretty much everything I got from the show. It's also just been my birthday. In fact, the day of the show was my birthday, so I picked up another couple of bits there, which not really kind of, well, they are model related. So I'm actually filming today using a new tripod that I was given, and also I've picked up some of the Model Zone desk organizer type thing, so I'll put those together over the next few weeks, and hopefully you'll end up seeing them on when you kind of workbench. I'm not going to do videos on putting them together. It looked like every YouTuber about 6 months ago was doing exactly the same thing, so there's content out there already for that if you want to have a look at them. But it's the same stuff that people like Richard at Everard Junction and Charlie at Chadwick TMD, or Chadwick Model Railway, sorry, or Kathy Millett, and everyone was kind of putting them together. So I'm not going to do the same, but yeah, it's the same stuff that I've picked up. A lot of the reason I'd pick them up is because of those videos. So I'm not trying to say that those videos aren't good. Far from it. They're very, very good. It's good to see the product in action, and it's what convinced me to pick some of them up. So I will be putting those together, and if they do the job and I'm happy with them in real life, I'll certainly get a few more. So I think that's going to be it for me today. So it's a fairly short one. I'll be working on the fiddle yard a lot of the coming weeks. So hopefully next week's video I'll be kind of showing you a bit of the progress on the fiddle yard and how things have come across. And I'm going to start to experiment with a few things on that. So that'll be probably next week's video. In the meantime, have a good week, and I'll leave you with some running shots. Cheers. Bye. Thanks as always for watching. More videos available by clicking on the video in the top left-hand corner. This week's channel shout-out goes to Leicester TMD. It's run by Gary, who recently won one of the competition prizes on my giveaway. It's a great channel, well worth checking out. Click on the icon in the bottom right-hand corner. Cheers. Bye-bye.